this is Mark from Granite Fitness, and today I'm going to be making a short video on how injuries can impact on your weight loss and fitness journey and what you can actually do about it, right? So I use the term injuries very broadly in this sense because this could also refer to any other medical conditions. Okay, and to me this is very personal right now because at the time of making this video, I'm actually recovering from an operation to remove a huge cyst on my chest, right? So that happened about 8 to 9 days ago. So that's why I'm basically applying what I've been preaching before, okay? So the first thing to note, right, is that, you must have a strong attitude towards it. Don't let your injury or your operation or whatever temporary medical condition it might be completely put you off. This is when psychologically you have to be at the strongest. So if your aim is weight loss, then don't abandon that completely. If your aim is to get fit, similarly, likewise, don't abandon it. Just have the mindset that this is just a temporary setback. For me, myself, my aim is just to generally keep fit, right? And so I found myself telling myself that, in my mind. Okay, so the first thing which I did, right, is, how I always preach, well, you might not know, but then I always preach that in order to lose weight and keep it off successfully in the long term or get fit, you need 3 components. The first one is your strong psychology, which I just talked about. The second one is your nutrition and diet, and the third one is fitness and exercise. Having an operation or an injury momentarily stifles the exercise bit. We'll come back to that in a moment, right? So the psychology bit I've already covered. The thing in between is your diet and your nutrition. So since doctor's orders are that I can't exercise for about 3 weeks after the operation, roughly 1 week ago for me now, I really paid attention to my diet. And my diet is usually clean, right? Of course, once in a while I take junk food and that's all right. It should be factored into any weight loss or fitness plan. But I really took care to take care of my diet, right? So another thing that I did when it comes to diet was to eat less. Now, this wasn't something that I intentionally did. Well, sort of, I semi-intentionally did. But the other side to it is that, I was coming from a position of having this rigorous workouts just as part of my lifestyle. And all of a sudden that has been taken out because of this operation. So naturally, right, just simple mathematics, naturally I don't need as many calories, so I don't really get that hungry. So this is when I really had to tune in and pay attention to what my body's telling me, that I don't need that many calories. So once I'm full, I stop eating, right? So usually when I'm really active, undertaking vigorous exercise a couple of times a week, I need a certain amount of calories, and because I don't have that kind of expenditure anymore, then I get full more easily because I simply don't need that much, alright? So just pay attention to your body. Now let's come back to the exercise and fitness. The main thing to note here is know your limitations, what you can and can't do. So don't go to either extreme. Some people are so gung-ho that they insist on undertaking the exercise at a similar intensity level even though they're clearly injured, right? Or recovering from something. On the other hand, there are other people who just say, oh, alright, so I can't exercise at all, so I might as well, just sit on the couch and give up on my entire goal. No, this is not the way to do it, right? In my case, because it's a cyst removal from the chest, right? I knew exactly why I shouldn't be exercising, because my wound is healing, right? So the 2 main reasons for me not to exercise was that, number 1, the doctor said that I shouldn't be perspiring too much because that would affect the wound recovery, right? And it might end up being infected, something along those lines. So number 1 is because he didn't want me to perspire. Number 2 is that since it's on my chest, a lot of strength training exercises actually does stretch this area a bit and works out the chest muscles. So anything that works out the chest muscles or the back muscles and even the shoulder muscles will actually cause some strain, and that might affect the wound as well, okay? So these are the two things I had to be aware of. So it just got me thinking, you know, what if I was able to exercise and yet still be able to fulfill these two requirements? Not sweating too much and not aggravating the injury area, well, the recovery area. So then what I did is I formulated this plan once again, with my strong mindset and psychology in mind and my good diet. So now I'm just focusing on the exercise bit. So not being allowed to sweat excessively, right? That means obviously I can't do my usual cardio, high intensity cardio workout. But it does not mean that I can't have any bodily movement at all, right? So how I first started was that I didn't go running, obviously, cycling or doing anything at high intensity, but I could go for a walk, you know, just a slow leisurely stroll. I'm not talking about, you know, those power walks that, you know, which will obviously make me perspire. Just a slow, long distance type walk at a slow pace, something that doesn't make me perspire too much, okay? That's reasonable. It does get my heart rate up a little bit, but it just doesn't make me sweat so much. So that does fulfill the criteria. And for the second criteria, right, since I'm not allowed to aggravate this area, I realized that if I was doing exercises for my legs, right, so squats without any weight on me, right, because putting on extra weight might aggravate the area, so just body weight squats, right, wouldn't affect it much. So I did some of those, and also exercises that focus on my biceps and my triceps. Those do not actually interfere with my wound recovery, since it's on the chest. So because of that, I've been able to implement these exercises, and I also made sure that I did not put too heavy a load. So when I actually perform, you know, bicep curls and tricep pull downs with the help of my resistance bands, I didn't go my usual intensity level, so my usual load. So I reduced the load slightly. But what it does, right, is because the main thing I'm trying to say here is some exercise is better than no exercise. So even if you have a stroll around the woods and just work out some muscles just to get the blood flowing and get the muscles to do some work, right? It doesn't have to be intense. It's better than nothing. So when you're recovering from a certain injury, then you should be thinking about that. You know, obviously, if you have if you break a bone on one of your legs, right, then your exercise, you could still do some arm exercises as long as it doesn't aggravate that injury itself. So it's just something to keep in mind. Once again, it always starts with a strong psychology. In fact, the contents that I've just talked about today, right, quite a lot of it is actually in my books, Winning Psychology Manual and Lifelong Fitness Blueprint, which is part of a few of the packages that I offer on my website and my blog. So I hope that you could check those out. Just check blog.granitefitness.com.au for pretty much free articles that can help you in your weight loss journey, right? One article every 2 to 3 days. Okay, it will really help you out. So if you find yourself in a similar position to me, just remember, have a strong mindset and rationalize your approach. Go through it logically and systematically, and then find out how it doesn't have to sabotage your weight loss plan. And then later, once you actually recover from it, as long as it's not some kind of a chronic illness, when you recover from it, then you can slowly ease and transition your way back to your normal intensity level. And that's what I intend to do once my wound gets better. Alright, hope this helps, and all the best for your fitness journey. I wish the best for you. Thank you. Hi, and thanks for stopping by. I hope you have found this video useful. Please subscribe to this channel, engage with us on social media, and check out the links below. Have a great day, and we'll be in touch soon.